Today I wanted to talk about rhythm and focus and detachment. So if you've been listening to me for a little while, you know how much I emphasize detachment. And the reason I do that is because so many spiritual healers, so many distance healers, all focus on focus. You know, you let go and you let God, but you sit there and you align yourself perfectly and you vibrate and you attune to what you want. And it's exhausting and hard to keep up. I mean, I'm not saying that doesn't work. I'm just saying that detachment works better usually. That being said, you can't just detach and not do anything. Hi everybody. Thank you for introducing yourself as you arrive. So the idea is that if you're completely detached, you don't even have to show up, right? You just like let go and let God and do whatever you feel like. Like that's too detached to actually create something new usually. Usually you need to make some sort of contact for something that you want to witness its transformation of. And notice that I didn't use the words for something you want to create. I said something you want to witness the transformation. Because with my brand of healing, the healing emerges out of the subjects. It's not something I do at them. And my witnessing of their process, and you also witnessing their process, gives them the spiritual support to emerge. I think support's the right word, yeah. Okay, good. All right, so, but most healing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it usually has to do with aligning your consciousness with the desired result and then staying there as long as you possibly can, like praying fervently, visualizing endlessly, trying to live in the light at all times. And I find that that's impossible and not as effective as being in the here and now, which includes the full texture of existence. It's like judging like illness and anything bad as wrong in the universe. Like that's not usually helpful in transformation. And yet that's what so many, I call them beginner or naive healing methods emphasize. And you can get some traction with that. You can get some, thing. I'm not saying that it doesn't have a place, but the place you put it in my system is you align and then you let it go. And then you're just in the here and now. And then as you heal, or as your patient heals, often like big shadowy crap comes up. And if you're busy being full of love and light, you don't facilitate its exit. All right, so how do we do this? First of all, we acknowledge what I do. You don't have to do this, but maybe you can try this on. Is I have a spiritual relationship with everything. So I have this there's a spirit in here. It's not like a little person, but there's the thoughts, there's the history, there's the context, there's the culture of what created this object. There's this little thing. I got a little souvenir from Petrified Forest, right? It actually has a spiritual element to it. It's not incarnated in it. It's not animating. I connect with the spirit and then it is animated through me. But that relationship is everywhere with all the objects, all the physical things that's there. So I'd like to acknowledge that. And I feel like this, if we're only focused on the physical world, we don't have all the data. We just don't. And it's so easy just to open ourselves to more data so that we can have a more holistic picture, so that synergy between the different dimensions can facilitate a transformation. Okay. So when I'm here in the present moment, I am looking at the cup on my desk. I am looking at the camera. But I'm also observing my feelings. I'm observing the chi in my body. I'm observing the spiritual forces around me. I'm observing our relationship, because you're watching this video. Whether it's in lifetime or in future time, I can sense your presence here. So there's a relationship spiritually going on. I can sense the relationship that this whole thing has to the healing of the list of names that I'm going to read in a few minutes. So there's a spiritual context for all that. And the way I give language to this so that people aren't just saying, oh, you're special, Suzanne, is my octave resonance healing approach. And it's basically a method for navigating truth, which is that there is a multidimensional reality all around us, and we can observe it, and it can actually be helpful to any situation, including this distance healing session. It can be helpful to wash the dishes. It can be helpful to write something. It can be helpful to, create anything, or just observe anything holistically. So in Western culture, there is a tendency to prioritize the end product over all that fluffy stuff. And I've spent my whole career with all that fluffy stuff, actually learning the rules to let it happen. So what am I talking about? So let's give a business example. So if you have a really great meeting with a team of people in a business, maybe say there's like 5 people, and you have a wonderful reciprocity, and you have like this sense of cohesiveness and creativity, and new ideas are coming, and there's cooperation. That's not about the content of the meeting. That's not the notes that go into the minutes. There's something bigger than all that gets going, that everybody recognizes as good, but often we don't know how to generate that. And I would call that the life force of the meeting. A good manager might know how to facilitate that, but often we're just like, okay, what are the tasks we have to do? What do we need to ship? What do we need to get out the door so that the business can thrive? And it's very grounded in the physical results, which is, of course, a part of the process, of course. All right, so leading on to this business thing, there's also this octave, if you will, of emotions and images. So when you think back on that meeting, do you have a nice feeling about it? Do you feel like, wow, that was a creative thing, I'm so happy to be part of that team? Do you care about the people on the team? Do you get more ideas, imagination about how you could do stuff? Like, is that part of you alive? And if it's not, what can you do to make it alive, right? And then we go up to the spiritual dimension, which to me is not it includes spiritual beings and religion, but it's so much vaster than that. It's basically the whole part of our existence that is beyond emotions and images. The bottom part, the most incarnated part of this, I would call thinking, because we can think about the images that we have in our minds. We can think about our feelings. We can think about our sense of vitality. We can think about our cups and our computers and our iPhones. So that part of us is actually free from all that. It's free to think. And then there's parts of us, you would maybe call it the supraconscious part of you, that is the place where thoughts come from. And that's where, a lot of philosophies and religions start labeling the different levels and all that. And that's fine. And that's actually, we're swimming in that spiritual soup, whether we are conscious of it or not. We are in a culture. We are in the spiritual reality of Gaia, the earth. We're in the solar system, the galaxy. We are in a context that is much broader than anything that we can manage. Okay, and it's forming us, and it's making a difference in our life, and it's affecting us. So if we're aware of all these things, we can observe them. And so when we are in this healing situation, so like right now, I'm talking to you in this Facebook group. In a few minutes, I'm going to lead a guided visualization. And what I want to do is go in and out of being very clear about that physical result that you want. Like, you want the cancer friggin' cured. You want you want the person to rise up and walk. That's what you want. Like, just call a spade, you would like that. And you also can be aware of all these other things, and you're supposed to detach and not make it too important, because otherwise you squeeze the life force out of it. But how to do that? Because how do you show up and not care? And so the first thing is to realize that detachment and not caring are not the same thing at all. You can absolutely care and be detached. Like, you can care about your child when they're at school and not be thinking about them constantly. It doesn't mean no loss of love there. So that's like an example. But let's talk about this balance, this desire for healing, for wanting a real physical result, and the need to detach from outcomes and sort of live in the kind of letting all that fluffy stuff do its thing without you managing it. Letting the octave of life force do its thing. Letting the emotions and the images in the people and the animals that are on the list do their thing. Let the spiritual forces that are in their minds, what they're thinking, and beyond their minds, in their superconscious, in our collectivity, let it filter in. And all this stuff is not manageable. Like, okay, we're going to do this, and then that's going to happen. That's what I mean by managing. We're really just creating a container for it to happen in, and then watching. And that watching, like in the quantum idea, is actually a powerful thing. But if you watch too hard, you're no longer being neutral, and you actually put a damper on it. So I've got some steps here. So first, number one is you be clear about your desire to heal or be healed. So just like, yeah, that's why I'm here. I really want some results. I want some physical results or some emotional. I want whatever I want here. I want to learn something. I want to participate. I want to feel good. Whatever your desire is, get clear about that. And then you surrender that desire to a higher frequency, higher power, something that's beyond even your thinking. Use your thinking to get it there. Right? If you know how to cycle, you put that desire to heal on a list and you spin it so fast that you can't see it anymore. And you can just sort of sense it or feel it, that it's there. And then you stay present in the present moment, allowing all aspects of the present moment to arise. And once again, shadows often arise when healing happens because you can see them going away. You can sense them. I can, at least. You can sense whatever emotional struggle was going on that might have caused the disease, or at least gotten created by the disease. As it leaves, you get a little whiff of what it was. And if you're able to witness that by not suppressing it, by not being so full of love and light and peace that you don't notice the shadows, you're able to midwife them into a place where they don't hurt anymore. So a complete and utter acceptance of the here and now, the good, the bad, the ugly, that helps a lot. And then, so you're just sitting here observing the here and now. This is the new thing, is you cyclically remember why you're here. So you don't necessarily do it every 10 seconds, but every once in a while, you remember you're here for a reason. And it's just a fleeting thought, like, I'm here because my wife needs healing, my cat needs healing. I care about the people in this group, don't know them, but I just want to be part of this. Whatever your purpose is, you just reconnect to that. And it's a fleeting, brief moment. And then you go back to just your spinning meditation and following the instructions for the visualization that I'm going to lead you in. You don't want to be so detached the whole time that you're just cycling and listening. You want to let yourself care, right? But the caring can't just be gripping you, and it can't be used as a tool. Like, you don't care, like, if I care enough, they'll heal. Like, that doesn't really work. It might be nice to be loved, and it's certainly supportive to be cared for as a patient, but you want to have it so that the caring about why you're here is interspersed with just whatever's going on for you and whatever else. All right. So that's the teaching, and so hopefully that helps you be present with your purpose for being here, while being appropriately detached, so that we can paradoxically get better results. It's like you just look at it and then you relax. You look at it and then you relax, okay? Same thing happens. I'm going to be saying some names. You'll notice that we don't spend 5 minutes on each name. We spend like 1 second on each name. And that's on purpose, right? That's so that we don't start staring at it, and it's just to touch it, because we don't know how to cure them. Our conscious mind just needs to touch it with our awareness, and then relax and watch the show.